Welcome. Hello, my friends. My name is Jason Gorenstein, and this is our Vinyasa Flow All Levels practice. So nice to see you all here. And we're going to have a nice class for today. So we do live streaming classes every day. And this is our Vinyasa Flow All Levels practice. So today, Tuesday, June the 23rd, 2020, the time is just a few minutes past 9, a little bit more, but just a few minutes past 9. And I hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. So without further ado, let us begin, and we're going to find our way onto our mats. And let's start in child's pose. So as if you're ready, find your way back onto your mat as you begin in child's pose today. So just let that breath be long and slow. All right. So as you begin in child's pose, just begin to close your eyes and allow your breath to become long and slow. And begin to notice your inhalations and your exhalations. Just release your head on down. Spread across the fingers here. See that your hip bones are releasing towards the heels. And allow the breath to draw in towards the back ribs here. So when we start here in child's pose, this is often an opportunity for us to check in with our body and with our breath. So oftentimes, students will bring the hands alongside of the torso, or maybe they'll extend the arms fully forward as they spread the fingers. So either option is fine here. And eventually, you'll begin to observe your breath. So oftentimes, why child's pose is such a beneficial pose. Because as we take this pose, we can begin to take our attention back to our breath. You'll notice your breath feeling into the back body, the hips, allowing for that breath to be long and slow here. And eventually, as you spread across the fingers and press through those fingers, you'll inhale, begin to peel up your chest, heart, and sternum. Find your way into tabletop pose. Take a few rounds of cat and cow pose here. So as you inhale, you'll peel your chest on up. As you exhale, you'll round the spine and draw the navel in. As you inhale, you'll peel your chest on up. And as you exhale, tucking the tailbone underneath, floating the ribs towards the thighs, and releasing the head down. Inhale, pulling the chest forward, lifting up through the heart, chest, and sternum. As you press through the fingers here, float the thighs on back, Ardha Navasana, or downward facing dog pose. So spreading across the fingers here. Continue to release that head all the way down. Allow the eyes to be soft here. Allow that breath to be long and slow. Continue to press through those fingers as you do so. Good. And eventually, you'll release the knees back down to the mat. Spread across the fingers once again. So as you inhale here, let's extend the right foot back and let's lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. See that the right heel is pressing on back. See that the right outer thigh is revolving on in. Now press down through the right fingers and begin to float the left arm up. So as the left arm floats on up, draw the left outer hip back. Continue to engage the belly and spine here. As you exhale, draw the left elbow towards the right knee. Pause here for a moment as you round the spine. On your next inhalation, extending left arm forward and right leg back. Once again, left elbow draws in towards right knee. Pause here. Just be here for a second as you round that upper spine. Inhale, extending left arm forward and right leg back. One more time, drawing the left elbow towards the right knee. Pause. Inhale, extending left arm forward, right leg back. Release the left hand down. So release the right knee down. And find your way back into tabletop pose. So as we move into the other side, floating the left leg back, press down through the left ball of the foot. Inhale, float the left leg up. As you float the left leg up, wrap the outer armpits in, and continue to hug the navel and pin the outer right hip in and begin to float your right arm up. Good. As the right arm floats up, see that the right outer arm spins down, see that the left leg spins down. Draw the right elbow towards the left knee.
Inhale, lengthening left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, drawing right elbow to left knee. Once again, round the spine. Inhale, extending left leg back, right arm forward. So as you maintain here, wrap the outer right armpit in. Firm the left outer hip in. And continue to breathe in here as you hug the navel in towards the spine. As you exhale, lower the right hand down, lower the left knee down. And find your way back into child's pose. So walk the fingers forward, release the head on down, and breathe here. And again, press down through the thumb and the forefinger. Feel the forearms lifting up towards the ceiling. Wrap the outer triceps in. And as you breathe here, inhale, peel the chest on up and float the thighs back, downward facing dog pose.
So as we move into downward facing dog pose, see that the feet are hips width distance apart. See that the fingers are spreading wide apart. Feel the inner thighs releasing towards the backs of the heels. Good. And then from here, you'll inhale, float the right leg up. And as you float the right leg up, one more time, pin that outer right hip in. So see that both hands are pressing down. Feel the side ribs lengthening towards the hip bones. And as you feel ready, drawing the chest forward. Right foot comes to about an inch off the mat. Hug the right knee into the chest as you round the spine.
And step the right foot in between the hands. Release that left knee down. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms in Ardha Navasana pose. The left back of the foot presses down, so the left shin's pressing down. The left calf, rather, is pressing down. The left back of the foot's pressing down. And the left thigh is drawing back as you breathe here. As you exhale, glide those hands down to the mat. Take your right hand, place it on top of your right thigh. Turn your right foot out slightly, so the right foot turns out at about a 45-degree angle. As you press the right thigh back into the body, begin to peel up your chest here. See that your left shoulder begins to move down the spine. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling. This is our twisting lunge variation pose. As you exhale, glide that right hand back down to the mat, walking the right toes back to center. Step the right leg back. Find your way back into downward facing dog.
So from downward facing dog pose, we're going to float the left leg up. So once again here, spread across the fingers. Firm the outer arms in. Feel the left outer hip hitting in as you draw the right outer hip back. Now come high up onto the right ball of the foot as you begin to lower the left foot to about an inch off the ground. Shift the weight forward and draw the left knee into the chest. So this is called a plank, three-legged plank. As you feel ready, step the left foot in between the hands and release the right knee down.
Inhale here, float both arms up and raise the arms up towards the ceiling. So now, take the arms forward in front of you, wrap the outer triceps in, and begin to lift the arms back up towards the ceiling. So see that the right calf presses down to the mat. Feel the right thigh drawing back. Feel both side ribs lifting up towards the fingers. As you exhale here, release the hands down to the mat. Walk the left toes out to the left. Press the left palm down on the left thigh. Begin to inhale. Spin your chest up towards the ceiling. Now, as you keep drawing that left hip back towards the body, inhale, float the left arm up. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the left arm and extend that arm up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, glide the left hand back down to the mat. Press down through the right ball of the foot. Inhale, step the right leg forward to meet the left. Lift the chest halfway up, pause here. See that the knees are slightly bent. Allow the side ribs to continue to lengthen. Allow the belly to hug in. So it's almost as if you're skiing here. The knees are bent slightly. The calves are moving towards the shins, and the toes are lengthening forward all the way to the front of the mat. As you exhale, hinge the hips and release the torso on down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Anjali pose. Raise up through the fingers. And as you exhale, glide the arms back down into the sides and come into Tadasana Pose. So in Tadasana Pose, see that the fingers are spread wide apart. Begin to feel the lengthening across the spine, especially across the collarbones, as you lengthen out through the fingers. Inhale, begin to float the arms up and above the head. Raise the fingers up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge and fold here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. As you exhale, hinge and fold again. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling, palms face one another. And as you exhale, glide the hands back towards the sides. 2 more times. Inhale, floating the arms up. Ardha Navasana arms. As you exhale, hands come through the center chest. Release the hands down to the mat. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum. Exhale, releasing the spine down. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Once again, Ardha Pose. Ardha Navasana Pose. I always do that. Exhale, hands come back to center. Inhale, floating the arms up. Exhale, hinging and folding. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Pause here. Once again, bend those knees. See that the chest is lifting forward. See that the thigh bones are pressing back. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, raising up through the fingers. As you exhale, bring the hands into the center chest. We're going to take an Om here. So as you feel ready, taking a deep breath in through the nose. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging and folding here. Inhale, lengthening halfway. So this time, taking the hands down to the mat, walking the feet back, finding your way into downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, spreading across the fingers here, walking the feet slightly further apart, and releasing that head all the way down towards the mat. As you inhale, shift forward into plank pose. Be here for a moment. Lower the knees down to the mat. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Now walk the hands back and see that the hands are right against the side ribs. Hug the outer elbows in and begin to feel the collarbones drawing back towards the low spine as you lift up through the inner legs. As you exhale, tuck the toes underneath. Float the thighs on back. Downward facing dog pose. So this is what we call a sun salutation here. Spread across the fingers. Firm the outer arms in. Continue to bend the knees and allow those thigh bones to draw all the way back towards the hamstrings. Lengthen through the backs of the heels. Once again, looking forward. Walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthen here. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, raise those arms up towards the ceiling. Ardha Navasana pose. And as you exhale, arms come back to the sides. Again, inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, hinge and fold here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. Take the fingers down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Find your way into plank pose. Plank pose again. Lower the knees down. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Walk the hands back towards the side ribs. Inhale, begin to peel the chest up. Good. As you exhale, lower the head down and come high up onto the fingertips here. See that the toes are lengthening, or the heels are lengthening back towards the toes. And begin to press the left toes down as you lift up through the right leg. The left toes are lengthening back in line with the heels. Keep hugging in that right outer hip. As you exhale, lower that foot down. As you inhale, press down to the right ball of the foot. Inhale, float the left leg up. Keep hugging the belly and keep lengthening through the chest. As you exhale, lower that foot down. Spread across the fingers, press down through the fingers. Inhale, float the thigh bones up. Exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose, step the right foot in between the hands. See that the right heel is in line with the center of the mat. Spin the left heel down. Firm the right outer buttocks in. Inhale, float the arms up. Warrior Two pose. From Warrior Two pose, begin to straighten through that right leg. Bring your hands onto your hips. See that your right foot is parallel with the inner edges of the mat. One more time. Deep bend into that right knee. Take the arms out to the sides. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend these elbows here and begin to cross your left arm underneath your right. See that your hips are drawing underneath. See that your chest is lifting here. Now, if you'd like, you can begin to cross at those forearms and take Tadasana arms here. Begin to lengthen those arms away from you as you hug your belly in. Release the arms out to the sides. Straighten across that right leg and rebending deeply into that right knee. Windmill the hands down to the earth. Step your right leg back to meet your left and shift forward into a plank. You can stay here, you can move into downward facing dog, or if you'd like, you can move through Chaturanga Dandasana, lowering halfway. Pause. Inhale, pressing down through the palms to lift the chest up. Exhale, floating the thighs back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose, looking in between the hands and stepping the left foot in between the hands, spinning the right heel down. So again, press into the right outer foot, press into the left big toe mount. Begin to extend your arms and lengthen them out to the sides. So see that left knee is bent, see that right outer foot is drawing back and in. Straighten across that left leg, take your hands to your hips here. So spin your right foot in slightly, take your left hip and draw your left hip in. Now bend deeply into that left knee and press into your right outer foot here. Arms come out to the sides again. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling, fingers face one another. Bend the elbows here, and then begin to take your right hand and bring it across your left shoulder. Your left hand, bring it across your right. Keep sinking deeper into those hips. This time, if you like, you're going to begin to spin the outer arms in, lift those elbows up, and take those forearms away from the body. Perfect. As you inhale here, raise those arms out to the side, straighten across that left leg, hands come to the hips again. As you exhale, bend deeply into that knee and take the arms back out to the side. Windmill the hands down to the mat. Step your left leg back to meet the right. Shift forward through plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, Ardha.
And again, spreading across the fingers here, spreading across the feet.
So looking in between the hands, now stepping your right foot in between your hands, spinning your left heel down. As you firm your right buttocks in, take the arms out to the sides. Warrior two pose. Bending deeply into that right knee. Once again, you're going to straighten across that right leg. Hinge at that right hip. Place the right hand down inside of the right leg. Take the left arm up towards the ceiling. Press down through the left outer foot and continue to lift through that left chest. Keep lifting up, keep lifting up, keep lifting up. As you inhale here, raise that left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend deeply into that right knee. One more time. Let's actually place the right hand inside the leg this time. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Now glide your left hand down to the back of the mat. Bring it on down towards the floor. And raise that left arm up and over the head as you lengthen across the left side of the body. So see that the left pinky toe side is pressing down. Feel the left thigh drawing back. Feel the left arm spinning down towards the mat. Again, inhale, raise that left arm up. Let the left arm lift us up back into warrior pose. Straighten across that right leg. Turn the right fingers up towards the ceiling. Bend deeply into that right knee. Left hand comes to the left thigh. Right arm extends up towards the ceiling here. Reverse the warrior. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to the mat. Step your right leg back. Shift forward into plank pose. Plank pose through chaturanga. Chaturanga through upward dog.
Upward dog through downward facing dog. So now you're going to step your
Left foot in between your hands. And I'm actually going to flip myself on the mat so you guys can see from my side. I should have done that on the first time. Step the left foot forward. Good. Spin the right heel down. Firm that left outer buttocks and inhale, warrior two pose. So we always, when we come up, we usually come up in warrior two because it stabilizes us to the earth. Straighten through that left leg. Hinge at that left hip. Glide the chest forward, glide the right arm up towards the ceiling. So the right pinky toe side of the foot is spinning down. The right chest is lifting up towards the ceiling. Keep lengthening through the left side of the chest as you breathe here. And as you inhale, raise that right arm back up towards the ceiling. Now bend deeply into that left knee. Place the left hand inside of the leg. Right arm comes up towards the ceiling here. Good. Firm the left outer hip in. See that right big toe, right small toe mount is pressing back. See that right hip is drawing back. Glide the right fingers down to the mat. Glide the right fingers forward. Glide the right fingers up and over the head. Keep pressing through the right pinky toe side of the foot as you lengthen through that right arm. Inhale. Float the right arm up. Let the right arm lift us up and out of the pose. Bend deeply into that knee. Inhale, lifting the left arm up. Reverse the warrior. As you exhale, windmill the hands down to the mat. So I'm going to glide to the other side so you guys can see again. Step that foot back. Shift forward, plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Pause. Press down through the hands to lift the chest up for Ardha Navasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So again here, float that right leg up. And as you exhale, draw the right knee to the chest, shoulders over wrist, and round the spine here. So keep pressing through those fingers. Keep pressing through that left heel. Draw the left thigh up towards the ceiling. One more time, inhale, float that right leg back. On the next time, as you draw the knee through the chest, step the right foot in between the hands. See that the right foot is right next to the right fingertips. Firm the right outer buttocks in, so the right hip is drawing towards the left heel. As you feel ready, glide your hands back behind you and lengthen through the chest here. So you're pressing through that left heel. You're lengthening the left side of the chest forward. You're lengthening the right side of the chest forward, and the belly is hugging in. You're zipping up all the way from the pubis to the crown of the head. So it's like almost as if you could zip up your body like a zipper all the way up from the base of the body all the way up to the crown of the head. Inhale, lift the chest here. Float the arms up and over the head. As you feel ready, straighten across your right leg and keep lifting through the chest here. As you exhale, bend deeply into that right knee. Good. Take the hands, plant the hands down to the earth. Step the right leg back. Shift forward into plank pose. Lowering down halfway. Inhale, peeling up the chest. Exhale, pressing on back for downward facing dog pose. So again, downward facing dog pose, we spread across the fingers, lift those inner forearms up, float the left leg back to the back of the room. Outer right hip draws back, left thigh lifts up, and we breathe here. So spread across those fingers, continue to draw that hip on back. Left knee draws into the chest, round through the spine. So as you press through the tops of those fingers, you're rounding here. Release that head on down and breathe. And as you inhale, extend that left leg on back behind you. And once again, left leg comes into the chest. Step the left foot in between the hands. Press down through the fingers, press that right heel back. See that you're pressing the left ball of the foot down and float the arms back. So keep lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum here. Firm that left outer hip in. Breathe here as you hug the belly. Inhale, begin to lift the chest on up. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, straighten through that left leg. Keep lifting through the chest. Keep lifting through the heart. Keep lifting through the sternum. As you exhale, bend deeply into that left knee. Very good. Exhale, releasing the hands down to the mat. Step the left leg back. Shift forward into plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Ardha Navasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog. So now we look forward in between the hands and we walk, step, or jump the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening through that chest. Exhale, hinging and folding. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Bend those knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. And then as you press through the balls of the feet, straighten the legs, and release the arms out to the side. So we come back to Tadasana. See that the palms are spread wide apart. See that the chest is lifting here. Again, inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Utkatasana, chair pose. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. So take those hands down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Find your way into plank. Plank pose, shifting forward, lowering down halfway. Pause. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, pressing back for downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose, stepping the right foot in between the hands, seeing that the right foot is right next to the right palm. Spin the left heel down this time. So press that left outer foot down. As you press down through the right ball of the foot, inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1 pose. Straighten across that right leg again. Spin the outer hips towards the right side of the room. The left hip draws towards the right hip draws to the left heel. Bend deeply into that right knee again. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat. Step the right leg back. Shift forward, plank pose, chaturanga, upward dog,
downward facing dog.
Downward facing dog pose, stepping the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. See that that left knee bends 90 degrees. Press into the right pinky toe side of the foot. See that the legs are spreading in opposite directions. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling as you move into Warrior One pose. From Warrior One, straighten across that left leg. See that that right outer hip firms in. See that that left outer hip draws back. Bend deeply into that left knee here. And once again, release those hands down to the mat. Step the left leg back, shift forward plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and
Downward facing dog. So we spread across the fingers here. Inner forearms lift on up. Outer thighs press on back. So feel the thigh bones pressing back. Feel the heels pressing on back and just breathing here. Good.
once again, stepping the right foot in between the hands, spinning the left heel down. See that the right foot is lined up with the right outer palm. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, straighten across that right leg. Take your hands behind the back, interlace the fingers here. Pull the fingers down the back of the left buttocks, lift the chest up. Hug the belly in here. See that you're zipping up from the pubis to the navel. As you exhale, re-bend into that right knee. Now, take the right outer hip, hug it on in, and begin to glide the arms up over the head as you move into our Baddha Virabhadrasana, or warrior variation pose, bound warrior pose. Press to that left outer heel. Draw the right outer hip back. See if you can lengthen the chest even more forward. Hug the belly in, hug the pubis into the navel. Inhale, peeling up the chest, heart, and sternum. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. Straighten across that right leg. Now take your left hand, glide it to the left shoulder, place it on the left shoulder blade. Take your right hand, glide it down to the mat. Bend that elbow and draw your right hand up the back shoulder so maybe the fingers touch here. See that the left elbow draws to the ceiling. See that the right elbow draws to the floor. Press through the left outer heel. Begin to lengthen your chest on forward as you move into Parsvakonasana with Gomukhasana arms. And breathe here. So keep pressing through the left outer foot. Keep pressing through the right big toe mound as you draw that right hip back and lengthening through the chest. As you inhale here, raise the arms on up. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. Warrior One pose again. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Glide the right leg back, shift forward plank. Chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing dog. So I'm going to flip to the other side of the mat so you guys can see me. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. So as you inhale, you come up into Warrior One. Remember, it's heel to heel alignment or wider apart. Warrior One is heel to heel alignment or wider apart. Straighten across that left leg. So now, take your hands, place your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers here. See that your fingers begin to pull down the back of your right leg as you begin to lift through the center chest. Press into the right ball of the foot, draw the right outer hip in. Press to the left big toe mound of the foot, draw the left outer hip back. Lengthen through the chest here as you breathe. And as you exhale here, begin to bend into that left knee. Hinge at the hips and take your fingers all the way up and over the head. Press to the right big toe mound. See that the left outer hip draws back. Bend deeply into that left knee. So this is our bound warrior pose, also known as humble warrior. Keep bending into that knee as you lengthen the chest. Now take the hands back to the back. Inhale, straighten across that left leg and release the arms to the sides. If you need to take a shorter stance here, you can by stepping the right foot forward. Typically, it's about a 3-foot stance in Parsvakonasana, 3 to 3.5, maybe 4. Not as long as our normal warrior pose. Take your right arm. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Spin the right palm to the back of the room. Place the right hand on the upper back. Take the left palm. Draw it out to the side. Left thumb is facing the floor, and then draw the left fingers up the back. So you clasp hold of the fingers here. If you can't clasp hold of the fingers, you can always grab hold of your t-shirt, a strap, or a towel, anything that you could grab hold of. As you press through the right big toe mound of the foot, or the right pinky toe mound of the foot, begin to spin the right outer hip forward. Begin to draw the left outer hip back. So the left big toe presses down, the left hip draws back. The right pinky toe draws down, the right hip draws forward. So your hips are lengthening here. Keep lengthening through the chest, the heart, and the sternum. And as you inhale here, lift the chest on up. Take the hands down to the hips. Bend deeply into that knee. Inhale, float the arms up for Warrior One. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step your left leg back to meet your right. Shift forward, plank pose, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. So shift forward into plank again. And you're going to release the right knee down to the mat. Inhale, float the left leg up and see that the left leg is turned out to the side. Lift the left arm up, just like this. So as you continue to breathe here, press through the right big toe mound. The right thumb. As you press through the right thumb, spin the right shoulder underneath you and bend deeply into that left knee. See if you can grab hold of the left ankle here. As you grab hold of the left ankle, press down through the right shin and begin to turn your chest up towards the ceiling any amount here. So as you continue to breathe, lengthen through the chest, lengthen through the heart, lengthen through the sternum, and just turn that chest up towards the ceiling. Now releasing that left leg out, left arm lifts up. Exhale, lowering that left palm on down. So we change to the other side. So float the right leg back. I'll go to your side so you guys can see me. So extend that leg on back. Press back through that heel, lengthen through that top arm, and breathe here. So we start here, which is it's very similar to Ardha Chandrasana pose. The left shoulder draws underneath you, the right arm lifts on up, and you breathe here. Now bring that right knee into a bend, grab hold of that right foot, maybe grab hold of the right ankle. And then you're going to begin to kick back through that right leg. See that the belly hugs in. See that the chest lengthens forward. See that the thigh draws back. Allow the left fingers to press on down as you begin to rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. Again, release that right leg on out behind you as you lift the right arm up. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat once again. Good. As you glide the hands down to the mat now, interlace the fingers here underneath you and begin to walk the feet back as you come into forearm plank. As you find your way into forearm plank, see that you're pressing down through the forearms, the wrists, the fingers, and continue to lengthen that sternum forward. The tail is drawing back towards the heels. Now walk the feet in. Walk the feet in. Walk the feet in and find your way into Dolphin's Pose. So Dolphin's Pose, press down once again through the fingers, through the wrists, through the forearms, and continue to wrap those outer armpits in. Belly's engaged here. Shoulder blades are moving up the spine as you lengthen through those thighs. See that the heels continue to lengthen back towards the back of the room. As you exhale, or on your next exhale rather, walk the feet back. Come back into forearm plank. From forearm plank, begin to lower those knees down onto the mat. Press down through the fingers. Inhale, peel up the chest. Exhale, press on back for Gomukhasana, downward facing dog pose again. Good. Downward facing dog pose. One more time. Step the right foot in between the hands. As you do so, begin to straighten across your right leg. Walk the hands back and bring the hands to the hips. See that the hands are on the hips. Press down through the right ball of the foot. Continue to drive that right outer hip back. See that you're pressing down through the left ball of the foot. Continue to drive that left outer hip forward. So as you continue to do this, and I'll flip to the side so you guys can see me. As you continue to do this, you begin to spin the chest from the left side of the room to the right side of the room. Perfect. Then from here, you're going to take your left palm. You're going to place your left palm down at the mat. You can either place it underneath your left shoulder onto the left shin or to the right of the right shin. I'm sorry, the right shin, that is. And then from here, keep lifting the chest. So you'll know how the pelvis should be by pressing into that left ball of the foot. The pelvis should be rather flat here. Now the chest begins to extend as you lift up through those right fingers. So as we lift up through those right fingers, eventually we move into, which is called twisting triangle pose. Keep pressing through that left heel. Keep lifting through that right arm and breathing. Good. And as you inhale, float the arms back, come back to your side. So now you're like this. You're lifted up, your chest is lifted up, and you're breathing here. And now we're going to just spin our feet over towards our left. So start here by taking your left hand and placing it on your left hip. And then take your right arm and lifting it up towards the ceiling. So keep pressing down through the right ball of the foot. Keep lengthening through the right side of the chest and drawing that left outer hip back. Now take your right arm forward, take your right arm forward, take your right arm forward. So you can place your right hand underneath your right shoulder, on top of your left shin, or to the left of your left shin. Keep drawing that left outer hip back. So I'll turn towards you guys so you can see me. Good. Then from here, as you feel ready, begin to float your left arm all the way up towards the ceiling. So press through that left big toe mound of the foot. Drive the left outer hip back. Press to the right pinky toe side of the foot. Draw the right hip forward. And breathe here as you keep lifting to that left arm. Come back up. Arms come out to the sides. Good. So now, here we are in our standing pose. Wide legs. You may want to step the legs a little bit wider apart. See that your outer feet are parallel with the edges of the mat. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold here.
So as you fold here, release the head on down to the mat and walk the hands on back. So if the head does not touch the mat, that's fine, but you still want to keep walking the hands on back as you move into Prasarita Padottanasana A. So draw the outer arms in. Firm in your triceps here. The elbows begin to bend as you release that head on down. Maybe over time you can release the head down more. And believe it or not, the ability to release the head down has to do with your hamstrings here. Good. As you inhale, begin to peel up the chest, walk the hands forward in front of you. Now, begin to turn the feet out just slightly. Good. And begin to kind of make a squatting position with those legs. Walk the hands back again. So as you feel ready, lift the chest up. Your knees are moving out to the sides, and you're lifting that chest on up. Good. So you can remain here. Some of us yogis are going to walk the hands back even more, walk the feet a little bit more forward, and begin to squat again. Once again, walk up. See that the chest is lifted. See that the heart's lifted. One more time. Walk the feet forward. Walk the hands back. See that the elbows bend. Maybe begin to stack your triceps on your shoulders here as you lift the chest on out. And then be here. The extension of the legs really has to do with your lifting of the chest, the heart, the sternum. There you go. And then as you exhale, you'll come back on down. So not the best looking Tadasana Pose, Firefly, but it's done. The lengthening of the legs has to do with the stretching through your hamstrings. As you feel ready, release that head on down one more time. Good. And then you'll take your hands to your hips once again. Press down to the feet. Inhale, peel up the chest. Step forward to the top of your mat. Find your way into Tadasana Pose. Good. Now, from Tadasana Pose, as you feel ready, you're going to find our way back onto our seats. So we're going to start out sitting down, and hands are on the tops of the shins. So you're going to take the knees, and you're going to lift the knees off the mat, and you're going to extend the arms out to the sides. Lift the legs on up. This is called Navasana Pose. And as you exhale, lengthen those legs forward, and lift the shoulder blades off the mat here. It's called Ardha Navasana. So draw those knees back in. You can keep the knees bent. You can lift the knees to shins to parallel. You can lift the legs on up. lower down halfway again. So breathe here, hug that belly in, lift those shoulders up and breathe. Knees come in one more time. Shins come parallel to the mat. Maybe the legs extend fully. One more time, extend those legs on forward. Belly hugs in. Breathe here. Good, and then you'll cross the legs here. As you feel ready, exhale, forward fold. So, counter pose, forward fold, counter pose to Navasana stretch. See if you can flex the feet here, though. So the feet are flexed, and you release the head on down. So this pose is really a good stretch for the inner legs. Now breathe into the back, maybe walk the hands forward a little bit more. See that the tailbone releases on down. See that the belly hugs in. See that you keep creating length through the spine. And you'll walk the hands back. You'll draw the knees in towards the chest. You'll take the legs, and once again, lengthen the legs on forward. Be here. Good, and as you inhale, draw those knees back to center and lift the chest up. 2 more times. So, Ardha Navasana. Keep lifting the chest, keep lifting the heart, and Navasana pose. You could keep bent knees or you could straighten the legs. Ardha Navasana pose. This is the last one. And Navasana pose. Good. Cross the legs the other way, if you can remember. Flex your feet here. Flex your feet, meaning that your toes, they point to the knees. And one more time, begin to forward fold here. So this is a stretch that we take to really open up the inner hamstrings or the inner groins. Release the body on down and breathe here. All right. Walk the hands on back. Take the knees into the chest. And begin to float the legs up towards the ceiling here. Now lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum up, lift the shoulders up off the mat. And breathe here. Lower the right leg down to about an inch off the floor. Inhale, float that right leg on up. Lower the left leg to about an inch off the floor. Inhale, float that left leg on up. Hands stay lifted. Right leg lowers to about an inch off the floor. Inhale, float the right leg up. Left leg lowers to about an inch off the floor. Lift that left leg on up. 2 more times. Right leg and lift. And left leg and lift. And right leg and lift. And left leg and lift. So hug your knees into your chest here. And just begin to breathe as you kind of rock the body from side to side. Open those hips up. All right, and bring the feet back together. So from here, little type of transitional pose. Just draw your knees over towards your right elbow. Be here for a moment. And then back to center and draw your knees over to your left elbow. And back to center. Release the feet down onto the mat. Grab hold of the outer sides of the mat. Roll your shoulders under. Press down through your feet. Lift the pelvis up. Tailbone moves towards the backs of the knees. The eye bones release down towards the hamstrings. And breathe here. This is called bridge pose.
right, release the tailbone down. Good. So from here, you're going to do another bridge, except this time you'll interlace the fingers underneath the back. So take the left hand, take the right hand, interlace those fingers. See that the outer arms wrap on in. See that that belly hugs on in. Press down through the feet. Press down through the thighs. Lengthen the buttocks towards the heels. Breathe here. And eventually release those hands, release the shoulders, and breathe here. One more time. Press up through the pelvis, interlace the fingers if you can the opposite way. Interlace. And we take back bends here just to begin to open up the chest, prepare ourselves for the rest of the day. We had some nice forward folds a moment ago, so we take these nice back bends to just open up the chest to prepare us for the rest of the day. And as you exhale, release the back, release those legs. Legs out to the sides, shoulders underneath. And just breathe here. So bring the breath back into the body. Wiggling the toes. Eventually bringing your knees back into a bent position. Rolling over onto your side. And as you feel ready, pressing your way up and finding your way into a seated position. So from here, taking the hands into the center chest. Exhale, releasing the chin towards the chest. Namaste. So, thank you guys so much. You guys joined for the practice. My name is Jason Lorenstein. This is our Vinyasa flow all levels. Sorry, the guy's cutting the lawn right outside. Tomorrow, next class is going to be on Thursday the 24th. I don't know why that got stuck like that. but the next class is going to be on Thursday, June the 24th. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. We still have a couple of classes through today, so please feel free to tune back in. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Be well, be happy, my friends, and let me know if you guys need anything. Also, yeah, we do live streaming classes all day. If you're not already following me, follow me. Hit the thumbs up sign on Facebook, the like page, on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Just a nice way to find out about the videos. You could stream live on Facebook and just check in with me to check in with classes. So I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day, guys. Be well, be happy. Namaste. Thanks, guys.